Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do a little review of TJ Klune's newest book, Under the Whispering Door. And yes, I know a lot of people have been waiting for this release, especially because the predecessor of this book, The House in the Cerulean Sea, was such a major banger. I personally loved it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars on Storygraph, and it was one of my favorite reads for this year. So yeah, a couple of weeks ago I ordered this from The Hungry Mind on Shopee, and I think I got this for 817 pesos if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, when this arrived, I immediately started reading it, and boy oh boy, do I have some thoughts. But before that, let's get around the synopsis of this book. It's basically about a man named Wallace Price, who was a very competent and hardworking lawyer, but also a total asshole. Like, this guy lacked empathy and compassion, and all he really cared about was his own self. But then, one day, Mr. Price suddenly died. So yeah, a reaper appeared in front of him and took him to this little tea shop, which was actually a place for dead people to stay at before they decide to go into the light. And in that place, the very dead Wallace Price found solace and peace and some character development, and he unexpectedly became this changed man with the help of another man named Hugo Freeman. And now Wallace was just so confused about whether he should stay or leave. So yeah, that's basically the main premise of this book. Now, the first chapter kind of threw me off a bit. Like, I felt it was such an awful opening scene, although I understand that it had to be made in order for the story to come together. Like, it was a pivotal point and a very crucial moment. So yeah, I'm kind of disappointed because I expected something more than just an overly familiar scene. Like, the construction of the first chapter was just so jading and dull. And yeah, I hated it, and I can't tell you how many times I cringed while reading it. It was bad. Like, yeah, like, it was bad. And I was like, okay, I can't do that. Nope, that one's a flop. That's a flop right there. And the video would have ended right here, quite honestly. Like, yep, thanks for watching, like and subscribe. But no, honey, 800 pesos for a book isn't cheap, and I can't go DNFing a book that's over 800 pesos. That would be a crime. So yeah, I went on and hoped for the best. And can I just say, I am glad that I still continued reading with an open mind, because most of the time when I get turned off by opening chapters, my interest would just de-escalate and I'd end up hating the book, even though the rest of the chapters were actually good. So yeah, I thank God that I gave this one a fresh start after that horrible first chapter. I was like, okay, let's forget that thing happened. We have no recollection of that chapter. Let's move on. And so I went on reading it, and oh my God, this book. Ladies and gents, I loved it. I loved this book. I loved the charm and the coziness. Like it was just so comfortable. There were like so many conversations about tea and scones. Like, there's nothing more comfortable than tea and scones. Like, let's be real. Like, it really gave me cozy Japanese vibes. The characters, the setting, the atmosphere, the flow of the story. I loved them all. And it's quite funny because I thought I'd hate it. Like, there were chapters that were just so cheesy and corny, but I willingly accepted those things. I forgave those things because I loved this story. Like, oh my God, like, it was just so adorable. And I'm not gonna say a lot about the rest of the plot because there's some stuff in here that are just so special, and I want you guys to explore them yourselves and get the chance to really enjoy it. But yes, Under the Whispering Door is such a beautiful book that discussed grief and loss and character development and friendship in such a careful and comforting way. And yes, I know some people didn't like this, but that's okay. That's all right. I adore this book. I swear, you guys, I just can't stop thinking about it. Now, the $1,000,000 question is it better than The House in the Cerulean Sea? Now listen, I know this is a huge statement, but my answer is yes. I know. Who am I to say that? I don't have Jack Edwards or Aunt Carly's qualifications, but I stand behind my claim because this book really captured me. And yes, I confess that I'm actually kind of nervous to reread this because I might end up hating it, and I don't want that. But yeah, right in this moment, that's my verdict. I know it's a mess, but it is what it is. But anyway, those are my thoughts about this book. Let me know if you liked this book too. I'd love to hear some of your thoughts. But yep, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.